Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. And today I'm going to share with you some of my experience or some of my design experience about UX design or experience design for XR. Okay, here's my XR journey. I've been doing UX UI design for over 11 years. So pretty much back in 2014, I started Hummingbird Day, which was my UX UI portfolio, but ended up to be an agency. Back in 2015, I started create a lot of XR YouTube tutorials. Now we have 1.3K subscribers. And after a few years, I started XReality Meetup. And every Saturdays, I invite XR experts to share some XR trends and knowledge every Saturdays. So if you are interested, feel free to join us. We always have something on Saturdays. That's my promise. Yeah, so now we have over 800 members. And I love to grow with the meetup. And this meetup do really bring a lot of people jobs or connection or a lot of learnings. So yeah, feel free to join us. And during the event, a lot of people ask me like, hey, where can I learn XR? And I look up a lot of platforms and I couldn't find a place where that suits a lot of my attendees' needs. So that's why back in 2020, I start XReality Academy. And actually, I print out a lot of flyers on the back of the room. So if you are interested in joining it, yeah, you can grab the flyer. And pretty much we are looking for, right now we have students sign up and also experts sign up. So if you want to be a mentor, feel free to scan the QR code. So this is something that I believe. I remember last year, I saw Elon Musk retweet one picture, which is someone is kind of driving a car, right? Just like doing this. But there's no car. Everything is empty. It's just like this gesture. And he said that this is the future Tesla. So I was wondering, like, wow, you see, like, it's very interesting that just using nothing and you achieve whatever Tesla is achieving right now. So you see, like right now we have a lot of pollutions, right? Overuse of the resource. So if we can keep the minimalism, right? We can pretty much reduce a lot of pollution and still we can achieve a lot of good things. So I believe that good UX UI should use as minimum resource as possible or minimum UI, everything minimum, but you can achieve the most. I think this is phenomenal. Okay, so another perspective for a good experience design, issue that the user in the flow state. Okay, so what's flow state? Which means that the skill of the user and the challenge of the task should be kind of somehow in a balance where the challenge is a little higher than the skill of the user, right? So the user can feel a little bit being challenged while enjoying still achievable and still, incrementing going up, right? So if the challenge is under the user skill, the user will feel it's really boring, right? Because I've already know everything. Everything is just start, repeat itself, right? But if the challenge is higher than the skills, it's too high, then the user will start feeling anxiety, right? So I think a good experience design should let the user in the state of flow, which means that the person is undistracted and fully immersed in an activity or a task. So here are 10 principles that I find out in a generally good experience design in XR. It's it's a little bit similar to the traditional 10, principles UX UI design. However, I did a lot of experiment or play a lot of, XR softwares, and every time when I play softwares, I did some pros and cons, did my notes, and I organized all the notes and I categorized each of them. So yeah, here you go, it's the 10. Maybe in the future I will start changing it, because right now actually I'm writing a book called Experience Design for XR. I haven't really seen any book that is fully focused on experience design. So I decided to write one, right? Because since I'm learning it and I love to share, right? So yeah, here are 10. The first one is feedback. Yeah, feedback is important. And later on, I will kind of in detail address each of them. Familiarity, comfortable, error prevention, personalization, efficiency, safety, cross-platform functionality, self-growth, and help and documentation. So I think if your app fits 10 of them, I think you are good, or some of them. I think it should be good. Okay, so the first one is feedback. And I have the content or storytelling feedback and the UI design feedback. Okay, so the first one is content feedback. The examples I use lost recipes. This is a very interesting game teaching you how to do the traditional ancient recipe, in the ancient kitchen. So I enjoy playing the game. At the beginning, it has the onboarding process. And I really love the onboarding process because it kind of teaches you how to basically navigate. So this is a good feedback, right? And visual audio feedback while food is cooked, right? And it has spoken feedback, navigating you through the entire process. And when the food is cooked, it has sparkle, right? So those are all the storytelling feedback. And if you can see another, which is design feedback. The design feedback, which means that when, playing Food Ninja, if you chop the fruit, it has the sound, like the chop sound. And it has like the winning sound, losing sound, right? And if you miss it or if you hit the bump, it has a sound of feedback. And also if you use controller, it has the haptic feedback. So, and you see like the score, it well shows you how you perform. So all those stuff are UI design feedback. So I consider this is a great feedback while you play the game. It's not necessarily the storytelling, but it's the details that makes you know whether you are right or wrong, or a good performance or bad performance. Okay, the second one is familiarity. So the examples I want to share with you is Ultra Wings. Ultra Wings is a simulation teaching you how to be a pilot. So I really enjoy seeing the realistic pilot interface. So when you get in, you will feel like you are the pilot, right? And you can see it simulate the entire height and sound when flying, and also the effect of landing a plane, right? And it's very intuitive. So every UI is pretty much mimic the real UI. And it's really easy to exit. So I think this kind of mapping the existing world, familiarity is a good design, principle to follow. Yeah. Okay. So another counter experience, which is familiarity. Okay. So, this is the game. It's called the Under Presence. I saw a lot of high rate on this in the game store, but maybe it's just me. I just couldn't figure it out. So how you navigate in the game. At the beginning, there was no clue. I just sit there and I play around the joystick and there was no movement. And so I start moving around, right? And I find out, wow, I need to do like a swim gesture, and the entire world was like torture or like waving, like in the really, if you see the down GIF file, you see like the entire world is kind of weirdly come towards you. So I don't know, and I just keep doing this and I feel super weird, but I kind of navigate. Yeah, so I just, yeah, it's not familiar that our world is doing this way. It might be really scary. And the second one is, I get into a situation where I keep getting looped, getting into a door, get out, get in, get out, and a lot of doors. I know it's the represent of, time or something, but I just don't get it. So at the end, I feel frustrated. So this is kind of like a weird experience for me, but maybe a good experience for others. Yeah. Okay, comfortable. So supernatural, I consider to be a comfortable experience. So you can see clear text, easy on the eyes, beautiful sceneries, and the UI is just the right amount, right? It's not overwhelming, right? And it's always there. And the home button is at the bottom. It's not on the top. Because when we first time into VR, first thing we see is our hand. Because hand represent our presence. So when we look down, it's very natural to see the home button. Yeah. Okay, so uncomfortable. This game, after I play it, I throw up. Why? Because there are so many things going on. For example, if you want to navigate, you need to do this gesture, right? And you will see a lot of low resolution stuff passing by through you. And this is already really overwhelming. And sometimes there will be overwhelming big UI sit next to you in a weird angle. Yeah, so I was like, oh God, I don't know. I couldn't even see what's going on because it's too big and too close to me. And sometimes when I was fighting with people, and there's a really weird hint, just very big, sit next to me in a weird angle. And I was like, oh, should I look at the hint or should I keep fighting because that person was not even posed? So yeah, I was in a really weird situation, and sometimes I will run past through the person that I beat. And it's just a very weird experience. And yeah, there's a lot of like stuff that makes me dizzy, and after I take off my headset, I throw up. Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of stuff that can definitely be improved. Okay, number 4 is error prevention. I think it's really important for the system UI looks different from the content UI. So if you see the examples, you can see the error state and the successful state of the storytelling. So something is system and something is from the story. Should be really different. And also confirmation dialogue. Something very important, you need to make people confirm again, so you won't, misplaced, right? So people can go back easily if they hit the wrong button. And yeah, so, and number 5 is personalization. I think at the beginning, because VR is such a immersive experience, if somebody used left hand, and it might be really weird for them to fight in the right hand, right? So a lot of stuff, if we can customize, and the height, right? If someone is sitting, someone is standing, right? The content will display differently, right? So I think Resident Evil 4 did a pretty good job of getting everything settled. And I know there are a lot of like onboarding, walking through experience, which is really good to kind of at the beginning make sure the user get the best settings, right? Okay, number 6 is efficiency. I really enjoy this game. It's called Cubism. It's minimal, and why minimum is so good? It's because it reduces the cognitive load, which means it's too professional term. It means you don't need to remember anything. You just know how to do it. Yeah, that's it. So focus on what's essential, right? So you see, like, this is such a clean box, right? And then you see the interaction. It's flat, but when you interact, it becomes 3D, right? And when you put that, you just know, oh, there's something out there, and there's empty here, and it looks like a shape. So the hint is about right? And there are some, arrow state sound and the correct state sound. And it adds the subtleness of the UI elements to make this app such an elegant minimalism and adding a little bit subtleness, and you just know it's right. Yeah, so I really enjoy playing the game, and besides, the music is so good. Yeah, you can download from Spotify. It's amazing. Okay, safety, number 7. I really think that safety is a big issue in the VR or XR or Metaverse, right? Because you see, like, the headset will get so much information out of the player, right? And besides, it's in the physical world, but inside that physical world, you don't even know you are in, what you are going to do, right? So I think the boundary is important, and privacy protection and parental control, and in the future, we probably have more and more just to keep us safe. So this is the counterpart of the safety, which you see, like, if you go to like a Reddit or some other forum, you can see a lot of tragedies while playing VR, right? So people bump into the rock, bump into the wall, smash their TV, right? And then kick their kids, right? So a lot of tragedy happens just because our eyes being covered, right? And, there's nothing, and our room is usually pretty small and packed of a lot of things, right? So maybe, there might be a way to solve it. Maybe everyone will be lifted up, and, or, there's a treadmill, So how to prevent the dangers of using VR is very important. So number 8 is platform compatible. So this is a really, really amazing cross-platform app. It's called Archeo. So if you see it, you can pretty much, the UI is really beautiful, right? It's an architecture collaboration app. You can use app from tablet, phone to tablet, to desktop. And you can also, people can jump in and using different mode to collaborate. And it can also use different softwares to collaborate. So I think, and now I saw there, new features which you can use mixed reality inside Archeo. So I think this is pretty good because everyone, I believe, Metaverse, I know everyone is talking about it, but that digital world that we are going to build should be accessed through different platforms. That digital world is kind of something there, but we can use different access and use different ways to perform or to collaborate. Okay, number 9, self-growth. I believe a good app or any software should help us grow, right? So let's see the hierarchy of needs, right? You can see all those needs. We need to finish our daily task. We need to feel secure. We need to feel accepted and belongs to a group, right, or groups. We need to improve our confidence and self-esteem, right? So all those needs we need to be fulfilled by all those, softwares or all the products. So you can see there are some examples. For example, workroom, you can do a lot of productivities. You can do the work inside workroom. VR chat or some other collaboration or social, chat room. You can kind of meet new people and fulfill your belongs to people, right? And multi-brush is kind of release your creativities, right? So so a lot of apps, if they can help us grow, then I consider it is a good experience. Number 10, last but not least, yeah, we always, because we couldn't remember so many things, and sometimes we will run into an issue. So if there's always a reference, always something that we can go back and ask, that would be awesome, right? So yeah, help and documentation. Yeah, so thank you so much. So these are kind of like the simple 10 principles that I conduct. And I'm writing a book, so if you are interested in learning more, you can sign up XReality Academy. Right now we are looking for students sign up and development sign up, experts sign up. So yeah, feel free to sign up and yeah. And then join our XReality meetup today. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, since we have everything, there's always some events, good events on Saturdays. So, yeah, feel free to scan the QR code and join it. Yeah, thank you so much. And see you in the Metaverse, the M word, yeah. Yeah, anyone has any questions? Yeah. Yeah, please.
Hello. Hi, thank you for your presentation.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the AR UI because the VR AR is totally different in the user experience, I think. So for instance, AR is the transparency is more important, but then the VR is the more immersive one.
Huh.
So what is your perspective in most important things in AR UI?
Yeah, AR, I would say that, because it's like when you design it, right, we have a lot of stuff that we think on the design file, on the Figma file or Sketch, or you use Adobe XD, you kind of think, oh, this looks like this. But I would say put it into prototype and try it out. Yeah, so the traditional UX UI mobile design, right, it's whatever you see on the screen is what you get. But in VR or AR, it's pretty much different because sometimes there's some settings different, right? And software different. And even the distance, some people said, oh, you need to have some certain distance from this screen to that screen. But when you as a user jump in, sometimes it's too close for you. Sometimes it's too far away just because of the settings. So I would say every situation has a different, subtle difference, right? So sometimes, even though I see the specs, I would change a little bit just to fit. As for MR, XR design, you are the user. You are human beings, right? If you think something is too close to you, it's probably too close to you. If you think something is too big, it's probably too big. I think the scary thing is that you think this is good, and you never test, right? And you just launch, right? And for example, the game, the UI is too big, too close to me. Anyone would feel the same thing. And the disrupt, right? When you are in the flow, and there's a UI trying to teach you how to do, and I've already do it. Yeah, like why you have a weird big UI and so close to me and force me to look at you and then interrupt my fighting, right? So I would say jump in and kind of change a little bit. And I would say you said that the AR, right? The background. I would say because it's in the real environment, so the background always will change. So maybe put a, I don't know, transparent black layer just to make sure in any circumstance, or you can put it on top of the white wall, right? And you can see. So make sure under any circumstance you can see things. Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much.